new goalkeeper tonight, Chris Taylor, who was signed from Cheltenham, and player manager Steve Berry has indicated recently that his side's main problem is a goal-scoring one, and he'll be looking to give the through balls to the likes of Costello and Wilkes tonight. Berry starts wearing number 8. The two captains tonight, Gary Butterworth is wearing the armband for the Diamonds, and the Poppies skipper is Craig Norman, whose late penalty sealed that first win of the season against Dover Athletic. And the Diamonds have won the toss, and they'll be shooting from left to right in this first half. And we're underway with a game that people in this part of Northamptonshire have been waiting for quite a long time. Of course, there's some interest in how both these sides will fare against each other, what with both teams being at completely opposite ends of the conference table. The Diamonds are 7th, and they need a win if they're to get up there with a hierarchy in the conference. And the Poppies, of course, are second from bottom and have only won once this season, as Rushden attacked quite early on with Collins. And he won that ball back from Norman, did Collins? Well, the cross wasn't up to much. Straight at the other end. Kettering have the game's first free kick. This is Craig Norman, the dead ball specialist, who strikes early, but that was crowded out by the Diamonds wall. And Mark Smith will get his first touch of the ball. That was Barnwell. Barnwell, I don't need to remind you, of course, scored a hat-trick 10 days ago when the Diamonds took on Kidderminster and beat them, as Crammon attacks now. And that ball came over, and that was the first touch. And I'm sure he's glad about that. That was Chris Taylor getting his first touch of the ball, making his debut for the Poppies tonight. A signing in the week from Cheltenham, Chris Taylor. And I believe Steve Berry has been after Taylor for quite a while. Certainly tried to sign him in the summer when Taylor was playing for Bromsgrove Rovers. But Steve Berry has his man now as the Poppies attack early with Wilkes. Well, that was a scare for the Diamonds, actually. Bradshaw dealt with it pretty comfortably, but that ball sailed right over to the far post, pretty much unchallenged. This is Craig Norman well forward. He was trying to find Pearson and was bundled over then, but the referee waves play on. And this is Paul Underwood. Underwood crowded out by Tucker. Well played by the Poppies defender. Underwood regained possession then. The ball lofted forward by Tucker. And the flag's up on the far side, and that's an infringement against Guy Branston. Although I thought the decision might be going the other way. Well, in fact, the decision's been given in Diamond's favour. Costello was climbing all over the former Leicester City man then. He's looking for Barnwell in the air. Tucker had the measure of him on that occasion. This is Kenny Crammon. Gary Butterworth. Bradshaw. And he was fouled then by Adams, and the Diamonds will have a free kick in a reasonably dangerous position, about 30 yards out. Maybe an early chance for a strike on goal. And that was Bradshaw who took it, and it wasn't too far away, and it got a touch off a defender on the way through, and that will be the first corner kick in the Diamonds' favour. That's Brendan Hackett to take it. It's come over. Branson tried to win that in the air. It looked like it was going to drop to Underwood, but that ball was crowded out by the Poppies defence. Butterworth helps it forward now. That's Chris White. Does get forward a lot, actually, Chris White. You often see him in those those forward positions. This is Kenny Crammon. And the ball lofted in, but was far too near to Taylor, the goalkeeper, with a fairly easy catch. Number 2 for Diamonds tonight is Brendan Hackett, who is in for Tim Wooding. And Hackett last started when the Diamonds won 1-0 at Welling a couple of weeks ago. Is that an omen for the Rushden team, I wonder? Darren Bradshaw safely back to Smith. And the lofty clearance by the goalkeepers, looking for Barnwell. Barnwell, of course, the hero of Rushden, shall we say, a couple of weeks ago when he notched that hat-trick against Kidderminster. And what a fine treble of goals they were as well. That's Crammon and Underwood linking up on the far side, but Underwood was fouled then by Claudio De Vito. And another set piece for the Rushden side to be taken by Crammon. Well, that was pretty loose, actually, that free kick. Diamonds players were nowhere near the ball, and Kettering were able to clear and move the ball halfway up the pitch, and DeVito will take this throw. Well, that came all the way through to Brendan Hackett then. Then back to Mark Smith. But the Kettering front duo of Pearson and Costello will be hard pushed to get the better of the Diamonds defensive unit tonight. It's been one of their strong points all season, actually, the back three, as Brian Talbot has employed them this season. Oh dear me, and that shot ballooned over the east stand, way over the heads even of those Kettering fans behind that east stand goal. But I'm sure Chris Taylor will be very happy if he sees those efforts fly that sort of distance over his bar all night. That was Chris White, the former Leeds player, was impeded then by Costello. And yeah, I was just talking about the Diamonds defensive unit. They're not a side that are known to leak goals, actually, the Diamonds, although they did concede 3 on Saturday, but that was the most they'd conceded for quite a while. In fact, the last time the Diamonds conceded more than 2 goals was the phenomenal match back in September when they drew 5-5 with Farnborough. But at least they scored as many as their opponents, I guess. And, well, Warren Kelly won that in the air, but it came back to Adams. Well, a good strike by Adams. I think Mark Smith had it, well, he had it completely covered and made a fairly comfortable save. But the first effort on target comes from Kettering. And it came from the boot of Carl Adams. Well, the Poppies were able to clear quite convincingly then. It was Tucker who hoofed the ball forward. As the rain begins to pour pretty torrentially now at Nene Park. It's going to make the surface slippery. That's Costello being crowded out by Warren Kelly. And the ball was looking for Barnwell then. Cleared by Colin Vowden. Colin Vowden, who 3 or 4 weeks ago thought he was the player to earn the Poppies their first win of the season. They were playing Hayes, and a Vowden goal had given them a 1-0 lead going into the last minute. As the Diamonds attack now with White, well, goodness me, he was on a totally different wavelength then to Brendan Hackett, who steamed up from the back and was overlapping quite nicely. But White's ball just rolled out into touch. But I was just talking about Vowden. He looked like he'd earned the Poppies a victory with his goal that was putting them 1-0 up against Hayes, and then Vowden actually put through his own net in the last minute, which denied the Poppies that first victory of the season, which of course they've got in the meantime against Dover. That was Chris White and Gary Butterworth winning the ball back in midfield for Rushden. Guy Branston. It's up to Collins. Well played by Collins. He skipped away from 2 challenges then, but the shot wasn't up to much. And Taylor not called upon again to make a save. That's Bradshaw. Well played by Darren Bradshaw. Helping out is Butterworth. Well, he was robbed then by Carl Adams, and the ball through to Chris Pearson. He's absolutely through here, and well, it looked as though Smith had actually lost the ball from his grasp then. But the first gilt-edged opportunity of the game forced to Kettering, and it fell to Chris Pearson. I'm not quite sure he knew how much time and space he had then, and he didn't actually get a shot in then, Pearson, but he had all the time in the world. Spot ahead tennis there. The Diamonds have possession with Bradshaw. And playing the ball forward and looking for Barnwell, but it didn't find him. And that's Tim Wilkes. And Pearson again is through. And what can he do? Well, there were players in the box. Branston got the interception, and the Diamonds clear their lines again. But some early scares here for Rushden. 12 minutes gone, and it could so easily have been 1-0 to the Kettering team. That's Claudio DeVito. Well played then by DeVito, but he showed too much of that to Branston, who's been around too long to give up that sort of opportunity to rob the ball. And Jamie Barnwell there. That ball came through to Pearson, and his pace is causing them some real problems here. He's round Smith, but the ball back into the box, couldn't find Costello. And again, I think Chris Pearson didn't quite realise how much time and space he had on the ball then. That's twice he's rushed the final strike, although on that occasion he was trying to square the ball to Costello, who's challenging again, and it came through, and a fine save by Smith from Adams again. And the ball's back in with Wilkes. And Costello's in there again, and the Diamonds are happy to clear. They're up against it really in this opening quarter. And Collins is complaining then. He's saying he got the ball, but a free kick's been given against him. But well, he did get the ball then, but his leg was wrapped around Craig Norman, and the Poppy skipper has earned the foul. And despite the league positions separating these two teams, Kettering have been the more impressive team in this opening quarter, as their player manager Steve Berry swings that in, and Smith lost it but was able to recover. And I've noticed that that's a slight weakness in Mark Smith's game actually. He's looked pretty fallible from those balls in from the wings. There are a few scares at a time when the Diamonds were only drawing 1-1 with Kidderminster as they attack now, and well, Kettering were able to clear, but certainly against Kidderminster a couple of weeks ago, Mark Smith was, he was dropping a few crosses. And those Diamonds fans, I'm sure no doubt cold, because it's a pretty bitterly cold evening here at Nene Park, but certainly the action's beginning to warm up here as Pearson again tries to get through the middle. And the Diamonds are equal to the threat again as Cranman clears straight to Brendan Hackett. He turns inside nicely. And he tried to feed Collins, but the ball's gone out of play for a Kettering throw-in. Rob Mitchell will take it. Looking for Tim Wilkes, and Wilkes turned. Carl Adams. Looking again up the line for the likes of Pearson and Costello. And well, that header was across the face of goal by Kelly, and it was pretty risky, but Branston was able to tidy up, and he feeds Underwood. And what can the Diamonds do here? They need to get into the game a little bit more, because Kettering have certainly started the better. And that's Barnwell challenging, and that was just wide. Well, Barnwell seemed to hang in the air then, and he got to the ball first in front of Chris Taylor, and he nodded that ball just the wrong side of the post. Well, it was a good leap by the Diamond striker, and well, what was Taylor doing? He was absolutely nowhere near getting a touch on that. Seemed to me like he should have used his fists. But, well, that's the first clear-cut chance for the Diamonds, and they failed to take it. Jamie Barnwell the culprit. But they move forward again now through Underwood. Kenny Cranman and Gary Butterworth. And just an indication that the pitch is really quite slippery now. That's Warren Kelly. Of course, Warren Kelly on his first game back tonight. He's missed the last three through suspension, but he slots back into the defence. As Mark Smith clears for the Diamonds. That was Bradshaw's touch. Barnwell challenging again in the air. Underwood got the foot in, and Collins won that and tried to turn but couldn't beat Tucker. That was Barnwell feeding Darren Bradshaw. And the slice ball, and Taylor should get that, but he hasn't. And, well, the foul's been given for Taylor. But again, you have to say that this keeper making his debut for the Poppies tonight, well, certainly Collins was in there with a pretty hefty challenge. But Taylor spilled that. And he's getting a little bit of treatment. But what should we say, a shaky start for the debutant Poppies keeper? Certainly it could have been an easier game for him to start in, although of course there are no easy debuts in football. But he's been thrown in at the deep end really in this local derby. Tension's running high, of course. There's plenty at stake. We know that much. And there's a foul in midfield on Paul Underwood. He looks to be in some discomfort there, does Paul Underwood. And the rain sheeting down here at Nene Park. Those Diamond supporters certainly grateful to be under cover as Underwood gets treatment from the Diamonds physiotherapist Simon Parcel. Paul Underwood. And although Underwood was fouled, the Poppies will have the free kick. Vowden took it. And Kettering have another free kick, although in a more dangerous position this time. Just on the edge of the box. And the referee wants a word with Chris White. Plenty of Poppies players huddled over this free kick. And Chris White getting a stern word from Mr. Dowd, the referee tonight, who is from Stafford. Although he gets away without receiving a yellow card. And well, the travelling Poppies fans pulling on their cagoules. Berry will take it. And it was threatening to curl inside that far post. But White got his head in the way. And the Poppies have a corner. To be taken by Craig Norman. Well, a poor ball in from Norman, although that came across. It was Crammon getting the half clearance header. And, well, Tucker was looking for the touch at the near post. But Diamonds can move upfield with Crammon. Back inside to Warren Kelly. Crammon again. Paul Underwood. He showed too much of the ball then to Tucker. And Kettering regain possession. This is Steve Berry. Well, Wilkes lost out then to a combination of Bradshaw and Crammon. And this is Brendan Hackett moving forward with some purpose. And he tried to feed Collins then. And Collins' first touch let him down, although the Diamonds do have a corner. And this game is opening up a bit. After dominating the first quarter of the match, the Poppies are having to defend a little bit more now as Hackett took that corner. And Warren Kelly steaming across pitch to regain possession. Butterworth's throw. And Brendan Hackett moving one industriously down on that right flank, and a good ball in from Brendan Hackett. That's Chris White. And the shot came to nothing but a decent Diamonds attack then. Full marks go to Brendan Hackett for turning and crossing in with his left foot when it seemed he'd run out of room on that right hand side. Although the shot from Chris White matched the conditions here at Nene Park. Pretty damp. That's Collins scampering away again, looking for possession, and he gets it. And the ball, well, it was looking for Underwood. He was trying to switch the play then, Collins. It was intercepted by Craig Norman, but Underwood has the ball now. And in fact, it's Warren Kelly. And, well, the shot came in from Darren Collins. But it was, it was high and wide. A shame, really, because the ball was falling nicely and, well, we can see he just sliced it there into the Kettering fans behind Chris Taylor's goal. Chris White. Brendan Hackett. So a pretty impressive opening on his recall to the Diamonds 11. Brendan Hackett. And the Poppy supporters, I suppose, reasonably thankful that their sides still level pegging with the Diamonds. But they've had their chances as well. And, well, sliding in there were Berry, well, it was Berry, Norman and Collins then. And I think Collins took a pretty hefty knock on his shin. Maybe the conditions are having something to do with this, these tussles in midfield. No, Collins is okay. Chris White will take the kick. Looking for Collins and Barnwell again. And Collins got the flick, but Barnwell wasn't on his wavelength. And Kettering are able to move the ball forward to Pearson again. Well played by Guy Branston. Pretty solid looking character actually, Guy Branston. You don't get much change out of him if you're a centre forward. The ball pumped forward. That was Hackett's touch, and Collins! Well, a superb finish by Darren Collins. And the Diamonds take the lead 4 minutes before half-time. Look at that, Hackett's touch into Collins' path, and he tucked that past Taylor. Nice finish by Collins, and that's exactly what they wanted. A goal just before half-time, the perfect moment to score. And we can see this again, Taylor's touch. Nicely taken down by Collins. And the right-footed finish, absolutely superb into the corner. Well, and that's rubbing Kettering fans' noses in it, right in front of them. Collins taking the plaudits. And it seems he's found his scoring form again, actually, of late, Darren Collins. He'd gone a while without bagging a goal, but he scored, of course, against Kidderminster 10 days ago. Then notched a hat-trick in a Northampton Senior Cup victory against Brackley last week. And, of course, he's got the first goal tonight. And what a fine one it was. So it's Diamonds 1, Kettering 0. And without being the dominant team, the Diamonds are a goal up and they have a free kick. Kenny Crammon will take it, although there's two other Diamonds players standing over the ball, Underwood and Bradshaw. Bradshaw moves forward. And will Kenny Crammon strike this? Well, he will, and it came all the way through, but it was straight at Chris Taylor and no trouble for the keeper. Well, and those Kettering fans, you've got a feel for them. It looks as though they'll be watching their team go into half-time a goal down after certainly deserving to be level pegging at the half-time interval. And indeed, there is the whistle for the half-time break. It's Rushden and Diamonds 1, Kettering Town 0 at half-time. Although the Poppers have had their chances but have failed to take them. Pearson, the main culprit, on 2 occasions. And they certainly deserve to be level. Well, that's Taylor, the debutant keeper, and he's conceded a goal on his first game for Kettering.
Northants TV's Match of the Week is sponsored by Dr. Martins in association with Rushden and Diamonds Football Club. The winning combination.
Looking for windows or conservatories? For quality and experience, come to Park Lane Windows. Our helpful sales staff won't give you the hard sell, but our craftsmen will give you the highest standards of workmanship. See for yourself at our comprehensive showrooms on Arthur Street, Northampton, and choose from a vast range of styles and designs tailored to suit your home. At our prices, you can't afford to go anywhere else. Call us free on 0800 614 605. Park Lane Windows, 0800 614 605 for quality, choice and value for money.
Need a carpet? Call Carpet Line and we'll bring you the latest designs and colours to view in the comfort of your own home. Choose from our vast range of samples against your own decor and furnishings. We can arrange supply and expert fitting on any make of carpet from our huge stock in days, not weeks, at the keenest prices around. Our reputation is built on over 20 years' experience and quality workmanship. With a full range of payment methods and interest-free credit, it's as easy as 123. Call Carpet Line on 0500 340 850.
Thinking of renting a home? At HomeWise, our staff have the right balance of experience and knowledge to help our landlords and tenants make the right decisions. Our range of properties helps us to cater for all your accommodation needs at the best possible price. At HomeWise, we're big enough to cope, yet small enough to care. For a personal and friendly service, please call us on Northampton 717 194 or visit our offices at 16 Harborough Road, Kingsthorpe. HomeWise, finding the right home for you.
Planning a wedding for 1998? Why not choose the Diamond Centre for your reception? It's the perfect setting for a day you'll remember for the rest of your lives. Our banqueting manager will be delighted to give you a tour of the centre and to help you plan your day. Choose from our extensive wedding breakfast menus or design your own. We can also arrange a DJ or band for your evening party, transport or accommodation in a top local hotel. Whatever your needs, drop in or give us a call on 01933 650 345 for the wedding reception of your dreams.
Ladies, now clothes shopping couldn't be easier. Just Trading, the fashion show people, have opened their new warehouse shop in Northampton to the public. We're different, bringing you superb quality clothing from Europe at low, low prices. And there's a big clearance day most Sundays. Browse in comfort in our warm, light and spacious warehouse. There's loads of free car parking and even a play area to keep the kids happy. Come to Just Trading on Red House Road, Moulton Park, Northampton for classic style at bargain prices. Northants TV's Match of the Week is sponsored by Dr. Martens in association with Rushden Diamonds Football Club. The winning combination.
And the Poppies restart this match after a first half which has been pretty indicative of their season so far. They've had their chances but have failed to take them. Simple as that. And that is why they're second from bottom of the conference, I guess, with only one win from 14 matches. But they'll be looking to get on terms tonight against Rushden.
Substitutions for Rushden Diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. Julian Capone and Jim Rockwell on for Paul Underwood and Warren Kelly.
Well, I was just going to tell you that, but the announcer's done it for us. And that's Costello moving forward. Tries to find Pearson. That's Darren Bradshaw. Well played by Bradshaw. He's faced by Steve Berry. Looks for Darren Collins. Collins turns. Both Crammon and Hackett were moving forward for him in support. And that is Brendan Hackett. Cuts inside. Lays the ball off to his skipper, Butterworth. Oh, that's a poor pass by Butterworth. Intercepted by Tim Wilkes. But Wilkes' ball was equally poor. That was Kenny Crammon's throw. And a tussle in the midfield there was won by Berry. Julian Capone's clearance. Capone, of course, who scored on Saturday with a pretty blinding shot up at Morecambe. But the Diamonds came away empty-handed from the Lancashire coast, beaten 3-1 by a pretty impressive Morecambe team, who are certainly going to be one of the sides fighting for that elusive spot into the league at the end of the season. As Pearson shoots, well, straight into the arms of Mark Smith. But Kettering moving forward with some purpose again there. And that was Crammon, just couldn't get the second touch onto that ball. Bradshaw's looking for Collins. He took it down nicely, Collins. But the important interception then was made by Mark Tucker. And the Diamonds have the first corner of this second half. Brendan Hackett will take it. Right-footed. Hooked into the near post and flicked on by Bradshaw. And that was Collins. And Collins might get another stab at that. But cleared by Carl Adams. Butterworth back to Chris White. That ball in by White. Collins was trying to connect with a pretty spectacular volley but didn't. And Tucker cleared, back to Kenny Crammon. Looking for Collins. Collins was standing offside then. Rushden attacking early in this second half, looking for that second goal. That's Carl Adams, who was a pretty industrious midfielder in the game I saw Kettering play a couple of weeks ago against Morecambe. Set up a few chances for Pearson. The Smith punches. And Berry was in there, and so was Costello, but he couldn't get a touch, and the Diamonds are grateful to clear. This is Carl Adams. Another good moment for Kettering. That's Vowden. And Barnwell turns and tries to find Collins. Important touch by Norman, taking the ball away from him. And Chris White fouled Pearson. And Kettering have a free kick. And another chance goes by for them. After that ball which Costello failed to touch in, he was stretching for that in the 6-yard box. As the ball eluded him there again and goes out for a Diamonds kick. That was Barnwell, and he was being impeded then. Well, the free kick given for the earlier scuffle. Julian Capone will take, right-footed. Looking for Bradshaw on the far post, and he got the header on. And Taylor, well, he fumbled that, and the ball's gone out for a corner, which Hackett will take. And touched on, well, Bradshaw's looking for those near-post touches, and they're pretty effective at the moment. They're causing Kettering all sorts of bother. It's Guy Branston. Chris White well forward on the right-hand side. Moving outside him is Capone. He'll cross in Julian Capone, but that's an absolute waste. He had time to pick his player out then, but succeeded only in hoofing the ball out for a kick. Well, Taylor, he certainly looked vulnerable tonight, the debutant keeper for the Poppies. Of course, he could do nothing about that goal from Collins, but he's looked fairly vulnerable in dealing with balls in from the flanks. And certainly that header by Bradshaw was causing him a bit of trouble then, when it looks as though he might gather it comfortably. As Hackett moves forward, and the shot by Hackett, well, didn't trouble Taylor. Actually went through the legs of Tucker, but he caught it all wrongly, Brendan Hackett. Wilkes and Branston. And Branston fouled Wilkes. Fresh hope for Poppies supporters. Of course, what a treat it would be if they could get one right in front of their fans, actually, Kettering. And they're trying to now with Pearson, and he sliced it wide. Well, that's a hat-trick of chances for Chris Pearson now that he squandered. Actually, the ball came to him then, and Bradshaw totally missed that. And Pearson totally sliced it. And another chance goes by, and Steve Berry must be, well, his eyes must be watering. He talks about the lack of a proven goal scorer at the club, and that's really becoming evident tonight. Pearson, who's a bustling and diminutive little player, he's always putting himself about in the forward line, but on the occasions I've seen him play, his finishing's let him down a bit. And Collins is on the deck, and Craig Norman's the player getting the yellow card, the Poppies skipper. He's disgusted with his touch from that free kick. Taylor Hatt's clear for the Poppies again. It's Costello. And Butterworth looking for Barnwell. And Tucker got the touch. Things were tidied up by Vowden. And Tucker can get the ball through, get the ball clear to Pearson. And good challenge again by Guy Branston. Well, that foul's been given against Branston, and we'll be able to see better on the replay here. Branston was sliding in, and yeah, he chopped down Pearson, and the Poppies have a free kick. And Branston is in the book, the first Diamonds player to be shown the yellow card tonight. And Tim Wilkes is shaping up for a shot, and he does shoot, and that's been deflected. And goodness me, that was too close for comfort for the Diamonds. And the Poppies have a corner. They're beginning to pile it on again now. Their supporters getting in the mood again as Berry swings that corner in, and Wilkes was looking for it. This is Vowden, and all off the post. And Kettering see another chance go by, but their fans are up for this now, you can tell. The ball came through, and it dropped to Vowden on his right foot, and Smith was actually beaten there. The Diamonds have players on the line, but that ball's cannoned away off the woodwork as Adams chips in, and the Poppies won that again in the air from the corner. It was Tucker, but his head has sailed over Mark Smith's crossbar. And you really sense that Kettering do have to convert one of these chances sooner or later. Although I guess that's what happens to you when you're at the bottom of the table. That's Pearson. And, well, he's away from Hackett there, Pearson, and Pearson has missed. And that's the best chance of the lot, and Pearson's distraught, no wonder. He was absolutely clean through here. And he screwed that wide of the post. An awful miss by Pearson. And, well, will Kettering get a better chance than that to equalise? I suspect not. The chance was created initially through the slip by Julian Capone on this sloppy surface. And well, Pearson one-on-one, and he should have at least hit the target. As Collins swings that ball in, as Diamonds go straight at the other end in attack, and Collins has the ball again. That's Crammon. And Collins again to Butterworth. He's such a good link man, actually, Butterworth. He's there in the middle of the pitch, and he's always switching the play, Gary Butterworth. As the ball's crossed in, and Taylor was flapping at that, although he did enough to divert the ball away from Collins' path as Pearson turns from Branston. And Pearson, well, was he using his shoulder against Guy Branston? In fact, Taylor's injured at the other end. And that happened when he was desperately trying to claw the ball away from Collins just then. And he managed it with a flying sort of punch. And he's okay now, Chris Taylor. Sporting behaviour from Collins. And the Poppies keeper urging his players on to greater efforts. 65 minutes gone. Well, Capone gave that ball away then to Tim Wilkes. What can the Poppies do here? That's Wilkes' ball in, and Pearson was trying to turn, but wasn't. Well, I think he was trying to do too much there in such a confined space. There was no way he was going to swivel past Branston and get the shot in, and he had a player in support. And that was DeVito challenging, got the ball back then from Wilkes. This is Claudio DeVito moving forward. Back to Tim Wilkes. And the ball swinging again, looking for Pearson. Well, the ball chipped in then to the possibly the smallest player on the pitch as Tucker gets the shot in. And in fact, it was Carl Adams having that right foot shot. The shot blazing across the face of Mark Smith's goal. And the Diamonds survive another Poppies offensive. And Collins was peeling away then, hoping that the ball was going to find its way through to him, but crowded out by Tucker and Vowden. And the ball spooned into the air then by Julian Capone. And the ball's out of play on that far side for a Poppies throw, which Bradshaw's reluctant to let them take. And in fact, it's a free kick for Kettering to be taken by Steve Berry. And hooked in again. There's all sorts of trouble in there. And the Diamonds are able to get it clear, but Kettering have a corner. And they're piling in on a bit late on here, Kettering, in the hope of getting that equaliser. But as Steve Berry jogs across there to take this throw in for Kettering, he knows, of course, that well, he must think that his theory is being borne out tonight about well, his team's lack of a clinical finisher, because never mind being on level terms, they perhaps should have been in the lead at this point tonight. That was Mitchell. White's headed clearance, well played by Julian Capone. Looking for one of Barnwell or Collins, but neither player was forward enough to receive that ball. Just the final pass letting Diamonds down a bit at the moment. Maybe they've become a bit sloppy. And certainly their thoughts at the moment are on keeping Kettering out. That's Butterworth. Tucker through to DeVito. And Tucker again is looking for Pearson. Well, that's Julian Capone. And Capone's clearance only as far as DeVito, though. What can the Kettering right back do here? Well, he can feed Steve Berry. That's outside to Craig Norman. Rob Mitchell. And the ball in another corner for Poppies. Well, Mitchell's a bit disappointed about that, although his team still have a chance with this set piece. And he'll get the ball from the short corner. And chipped in by Berry. And Pearson was leaping, but he was never going to beat Mark Smith in the air. And the keeper can build a Diamonds attack, which is helped on by Bradshaw. And Bradshaw's ball out just Julian Capone just managed to keep that ball in. And moving forward well here, Julian Capone. Bradshaw takes over, cleared by Vowden. That was White. Capone. He's looked pretty busy actually, Julian Capone, since coming on at half-time. Well, Branston's disgusted. Passed that ball out of play then. And DeVito, and things are getting a little bit scrappy at the moment. Both teams obviously desperate for possession, but they seem to be losing it a bit. And that's Mark Smith's clearance in front of Chris Pearson. And Branston and Wilkes were looking for that. He's tied it up by Hackett, who's played pretty well tonight. Hackett, he's up there in the contenders for man of the match. Other good performances tonight have been from... well, the Poppies were attacking then. The ball flashed across the face of goal. And in the end didn't cause Diamonds too much problems. As Butterworth will get this. And Jamie Barnwell. Hasn't had too much of the ball tonight, Jamie Barnwell. But he's trying to put that right now. Lays the ball off to Kenny Crammon, who shoots. High and wide by Kenny Crammon. Only scored the once, Kenny Crammon, this season. And with efforts like that, it's not hard to see why, perhaps. Pearson again getting the flick on in the air. That was Vowden. And well, his shot skewed across the pitch then. And that's Darren Bradshaw. Another player who's turned in a good performance for the Diamonds tonight as Hackett moves forward, and Collins was unmarked for a moment there. That's Brendan Hackett. And straight at Taylor. And Hackett should have done better there. He was well forward and did well initially to win that ball back. But look at that. He had a clear strike on goal and placed that straight at the Poppies keeper. And the clearance completed there by DeVito. Brendan Hackett was well forward and will take this corner. And he could well have sealed the game then, Hackett. That chance coming on 79 minutes. And the Poppies have, well, just over 10 minutes to get back on terms. Certainly a point. They'd be happy with a point, of course. But, of course, a win, which may have seemed a little bit unlikely before tonight. Well, it seems they could well have got it, really, with all the chances they've had. But at the moment, they're facing leaving Nene Park tonight absolutely empty-handed. And, of course, they've had too many of those defeats this season. Second from bottom, of course. And that 4-1 thumping at Kidderminster on Saturday would have done their confidence no good, of course. And that's even after they'd taken the lead in that match, with Tim Wilkes scoring. As Barnwell was bundled over then, and the Diamonds have a free kick. That's Capone standing over it. Maybe he wants a strike. It looks as though Crammon shaping up, and a decent strike by Crammon. It was on target. And that's Butterworth. Peter Costello. Moving forward and challenged by his opposite number, Collins. And Collins gets the ball back. The Diamonds won the ball back well then. Collins moving forward. And he was scrambling for the ball then with Vowden. The Poppies defender got the final touch. And Kettering have the ball now. It's pretty much end-to-end stuff at the moment. Wilkes failed to keep that ball in. Well, the increasingly disillusioned Poppies fans behind that goal. It looks as if they're going to see their team slip to yet another defeat. And well played by Pearson, looking for Wilkes. Branston tidies up. The ball coming in again. It's Craig Norman. Steve Berry. And nobody's worked harder than Berry tonight to get the Poppies back on level terms. Of course, that's Pearson's cross. And it will come back now to Berry, sliding in with Branston. Carl Adams now. Still the Kettering team plough forward. Rob Mutchell. Costello. Well, poorly played in again by Costello. And, well, equally poorly done by Capone, who's given the ball to Berry. That's Chris Pearson. And Norman crowded out by Branston, and Butterworth will clear for the Diamonds. That's Branston. And he's looking for Barnwell, shadowed by Colin Vowden. Well, yeah, Vowden gave a little nudge on Barnwell then. And the Diamonds have a free kick. Just 3 minutes or so remaining. Cranman will hook this ball in left-footed. And it's deep, and that's Barnwell. Well, if he timed his leap a little bit better than Jamie Barnwell, he may have got a clear header in. This is Chris White. It seemed to me as if he jumped a little bit early then. He was absolutely unmarked as he tried to connect with Cranman's cross. Steve Berry urging his players forward. And well, that ball eluded Julian Capone, and that was Carl Adams winning a late corner for Kettering. Well, and if they got a late equaliser now, it would be headline news in the Kettering Evening Telegraph. That's Collins was back there heading clear. And Costello's forward, the number 10 for Kettering, and the ball played in. And, well, it's all a bit scrappy. The Diamonds can clear, and Capone can actually break free now. Well played. Well, that's Hackett to Barnwell. The Diamonds pressing forward now. Kettering being caught on the break. You can just tell that they're committing players forward, and they're leaving space at the back. This is Kenny Cranman. And, well, he had a chance to shoot then, didn't take it. The ball was laid back, and Barnwell shot high and wide. Although real spaces at the back now, actually. And the game, really, well, I wouldn't be surprised if either team scored. It would be poetic justice of sorts if Kettering got a late equaliser. And that's Steve Berry hooking the ball in. It's been really industrious tonight, Steve Berry, player-manager of the Poppies. And that's Chris Pearson. And he's had the best of Kettering's chances tonight as he knocks the ball in, but it's cleared by Julian Capone, and another corner for Kettering. Flicked in by Vowden. The Diamonds are able to get it away. That's Berry ploughing the ball forward again. And I'm sure those Diamonds fans anxious for the final whistle. And Branston's throw-in. Another free kick for Kettering, where they're really piling it on. Steve Berry's involved again. Really in the thick of things in these late stages, Steve Berry. He's almost winning the ball off his own players, and he takes this free kick. It's hooked in deep. Mark Smith's coming for that, and he's actually lost it, but did enough to push the ball into Kenny Cranman's path, and again the Diamonds break. And they've turned into real counter-attackers at the moment, actually, Rushden. This is Julian Capone getting the shot in. Into the crowd in that Peter de Bank terrace, and those fans must be urging the referee to blow his whistle. We've got about a minute remaining by my watch. And certainly the screams from the whistle arrive now. That ball's looking for Barnwell, and he's onside. Barnwell breaking away from the Kettering defence, but he's a little bit wide, actually. What can he do? Well, Rushden have got played, and that was Butterworth in there. And, well, the Diamonds nearly put their seal on this game. It was Gary Butterworth, totally unmarked in the area, flashing his header from Capone's cross across Taylor's goal, and that was just the wrong side of the post. And surely the last chance for Kettering now. Berry's urging his charges on, and he'll take this free kick on the halfway line. And I'm certain that this is Kettering's last chance to get something out of the game. They've certainly deserved it. This is Vowden. And the ball, well, the Diamonds thankful for that free kick in their favour, actually. It was Pearson backing into Guy Branston, who's been pretty impressive tonight, actually, Guy Branston, along with the other members of the Diamonds defence. Certainly Bradshaw's looked pretty good too. And that was Adams. Although Cranman concedes the throw. And when is the referee going to blow this whistle? We've had about a minute and a half of stoppage time. Claudio De Vito will take the throw. And that's Carl Adams turning. But that's the final whistle and the end to this match. Well, Darren Collins, that solitary goal from Darren Collins just a few moments before half-time has sealed it for the Diamonds. Although Kettering, what can you say, they were so unlucky in this match, and that's been the story of their season so far. They had so many chances in the second half. Pearson the main culprit, but the Diamonds have come out on top in this fiercely contested local derby, watched by an excellent crowd of some 3,800 here at Nene Park, on a night which sees the Diamonds move up to 6th place. Brian, a 1-0 victory is always welcome, and even more so in a local derby, I guess. You must be pleased after tonight.
I'm pleased with the result, very much so. I mean, we had to defend for long periods tonight, especially second half. But it was a little bit of a repeat of last season, where we won 1-0, and maybe the other team, which was Kettering, obviously, deserved something from the game.
And you must be pleased with Darren Collins after a pretty barren spell. He started scoring for you again. He got one the other week against Kidderminster, another one tonight, and you must be pleased for him at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pleased with Darren. I mean, Darren has battled on when other people have doubted him. I've kept with him. He's got pace. He's been working ever so hard this season, and he's got his just rewards. I think he scored the winner in a local derby, and I think Darren's attitude has been first class, and he deserved what he got tonight.
You were pretty up against it. They threw a lot at you in the second half. Were you surprised at that? Were you surprised at how well they came back at you after conceding a goal at the end of the first half?
Not at all. I mean, I think it's their cup final. I think they've got one more cup final to play as well, which will be the game at Kettering. I expect no less from them. I would expect no less for us if we'd have been 1-0 down as well. The pleasing thing tonight was we defended well. We obviously got a clean sheet. All right, we made maybe a couple of mishaps during the match, but it's bound to happen if you're under pressure. But generally, we battled on. I thought the attitude of the players was first class, and we got the result.
Well, Steve, despite throwing everything at the Diamonds tonight, you still end up empty-handed. And your thoughts at the moment?
Oh, I'm very disappointed for the players who have given me everything again tonight, and for the fans who are magnificent. And yeah, it's just disappointing. I mean, I thought the least we deserved tonight was a point. We've outplayed Rushden for the majority of the game, I thought. Unfortunately, we're not finishing. We've got a lot of clear-cut chances. You know, perhaps we could have been beaten by 2 or 3 in the end because we've thrown everything at them. They've had a few breaks, but they weren't good enough to finish against us. And it's very frustrating indeed. But I'm proud of my players tonight. I think they've given everything they've got. They've battled their hearts out. And I'm very proud of them tonight. But it's just a shame that we end up on the wrong end of a defeat again.
You believe your main problem is the lack of a proven goal scorer?
Yeah, I mean, that's been our problem all season. I mean, we've not conceded a lot of goals, certainly in comparison to perhaps up to 10th position in the conference. Our goals against looked quite good, but our goals for are woeful. And you've seen tonight we've had maybe 3 or 4 times we're through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, hit posts, missed the target. But I can't ask any more of the. I've got 2 youngsters, I've got a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old up front, and they run their hearts out. And they both got, you know, hearts as big as lions, and they keep going and they keep getting in the positions, and they don't get despondent, they don't get their heads down because I keep them going. And they just need a bit of time and a bit of experience and a bit of composure, which, you know, it takes some time to develop that. It would help if I could bring in someone a bit older and experienced to help them, but it doesn't look like I've got the chance to do that, so I've got to just soldier on with what I've got.
We look forward again to conference action on Saturday. You've got Hayes back here at Nene Park, and the same again will do nicely, won't it?
Well, I don't want the same performance. I would like a little bit more controlled and a bit more passing from us. But I think it'll be a different game. Tonight was a very emotional game. It's a fan's favourite, obviously. It's very, how can I say, very high in their expectations of both clubs. They want both clubs to win. And it's a different night. But on Saturday it'll be a normal league game again with the same 3 points at stake. So hopefully we'll play a little bit better and get the same result.
The Diamonds can consider themselves fortunate then to have gained all 3 points tonight at Nene Park. And on Saturday they've got another home game here. That's against Hayes, and that will be our match of the week next week. Same time, same place.